Hi guys, and welcome to Pen's Notes. It's actually funny that this podcast is called Pen's Notes because my name is actually Penio, and I hate when people who are not my friends call me Pens, but it is what it is. Anyways, who do we have here today?
I'm Ariel.
It's your boy Tim's OG. You already know the fuck going on.
Tim's OG.
Hi guys, I'm Toby.
Hi guys, I'm Kiton.
Hi, I'm Nari.
Hey, I'm Josh.
Hello. So, what did you guys note this week? Josh?
What do I note?
Like, what's your hot take?
Oh, okay. I've been seeing a lot of new fusion, like Japanese and Nigerian food,
Okay.
Japanese and Mexican food. I don't think that should be a thing.
So you just hate
So you're just racist? Or?
Yeah.
It's not racist, 100%.
You don't think
It's given go back to your country.
No. See, like fusion is. I'm always good for like a good Pan Asian fusion, right?
Okay.
But like you can't bring disparate cultures together and call it a good menu. I want
How
to
do you know
play,
that?
huh?
How do you know that?
Because I went and it was because they're never the best of either. It's always just mediocre on both sides. Because why should I have sushi and tacos on the same plate? It makes no sense.
I heard that.
It's in Iru porridge. Do you guys know what Iru is?
Yeah, we know what Iru is, but
As in
Iru is
Iru
not.
as in dessert.
Iru
as
like
in
beans,
Iru as
look
in
at beans.
sweets, as in...
Please, where is this happening?
I think it's like London restaurants.
I
I know the one you're talking about.
Wouldn't mention the name though.
No.
No, because one thing that really annoys me is like, tapas style food, but then for Nigerian food, for instance, our meals are not tapas style. How can you serve me a tapas portion of jollof rice? Like,
Is it the one I know?
It's the same restaurant we're all talking about.
I
It's the same restaurant.
I know
It's the
that
same
place,
restaurant we're all talking about.
Well,
But they said that restaurant is not. They
crazy.
said that restaurant is not catered to us.
Suya is a snack, so it makes sense for it to be tapas style. Well, snack,
Suya is a
side
lifestyle.
dish, whatever you want.
She has a part of me.
Yeah, but like what I mean, though. It's like if someone gave you tapas style pounded yam, would you be happy?
They do that though.
No,
Yeah,
but
they
I
actually
won't be
do
happy when they do
that.
that. It's a thing.
I feel like it's not as if you're only just eating pounded yam and leave. Like you have the pounded yam, you have the suya, you have the plantain, you have different things.
Sorry,
But
Can you
that
understand?
doesn't work. See, that's the thing. That's what they're trying to
no,
say.
it's different place.
Yeah,
But that's what they're trying to say. That doesn't work with Nigerian
Sorry,
food.
Loki. On the side,
No,
Loki,
no,
like
but-
pounded yam, fried plantain, F4 stew.
Why the fuck is there
But
plantain
like-
in your
No,
pounded
I
yam?
can't lie. Nigerian food is meant to
And I
be
love
filling.
plantain, but
Yeah,
stop,
I
bro.
can't lie.
Nigerian food is meant to be filling.
But like, it doesn't make sense because I'm not going to eat pounded jam here, then I'll eat jollof here, then I'll eat fried
Yeah.
rice here. How
I can't like yes.
Some people do that. Have you seen the way men eat? When they'll have jollof rice on one plate, they'll have pasta on that same plate.
Don't say men.
No, wait.
I don't like all this collectivism. I need guys to name them and shame
Which
them.
kind of man are you
Definitely
doing?
people from a certain.
Rice and
I'm not gonna
pasta.
say
I didn't
what
say nothing
tribe,
about
what
it.
people.
I've seen people eat like that.
It's Ghanaian people.
You guys.
Break the table.
Kito is planning to travel to Ghana this year, so
Catch you there.
calm down. He didn't really
Send
mean
your
it.
boys.
It's him. If you see him, kick him.
Let's relax.
That's crazy. That's an interesting hot take. I don't know. What about yours?
My hot take is I don't agree with the friends to lovers pipeline with long-standing friends.
Explain what you mean by pipeline, please.
I don't mean that. I want to like go out with someone that I don't know. I want to meet a stranger and get married. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like my friends, like let's say we've been friends for I don't know 10 years or childhood friends or
Right.
and then all of a sudden like you wake up in the morning and you just be like, oh, I like you or something like you text me something strange and it's
Right.
just because I think friends and lovers can work if both people are on the same page.
Has someone done that to you
Okay.
It's
before?
hard to wait. Hold on, also.
Somebody will read last
Don't
Friday
hold
for
your
how
horses.
we
No,
walk
literally.
I think it can work if both people are on the same page. I understand it's not that easy to see, but vibes can give you that idea.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it's just like you want to confess some feelings that you don't know how the
Right.
person feels at all.
Yeah.
I feel like, hold
Yeah,
this
but
yourself.
can I
Sorry,
say
take that to your
something?
grave.
Wait, so
I take it to
so
your
wait,
grave.
have people tried to confess to you?
No.
Or so
Yeah.
you just feel that?
It's more from like
Right.
programming and stuff I've watched that I just know that
Stuff
that's
you've
not
watched.
his stance.
Okay,
Yeah.
but can I say something? I don't think the person will just wake up and say, "Yeah, I have feelings for this
Yeah.
person." It might be something lingering from like a long time actually. So it could be like, okay, like
Yes,
I
but
said,
like
I'm
if
not
it's
sure about that
really-
one.
I must. I'm not saying I condone it. I'm not.
No, wait.
Quench
said
any
condone.
I'm not saying I
fire.
condone it.
Any lingering feelings.
I-
Disconnecting.
For you, and I don't
For
know.
who? Me?
And you tell me.
Can't be me. But like I was saying,
Wait.
Yeah.
If it's lingering and the other person doesn't know and you tell the person, obviously the person's just going to be like, you woke up one day and you said, if
Right,
it's lingering, how am I going to know it's lingering?
yeah, but you know,
I can't lie,
sometimes
no,
some
that-
people.
sometimes you can tell.
But you
Yeah,
absolutely tell.
And some,
No,
Sometimes
most times you
yeah.
don't want to see it.
yeah,
Most times.
exactly. And some
You don't
people are
want to
just
see it.
oblivious as
Yeah.
well too. So
Yeah,
like,
some
yeah.
people are oblivious.
Yeah.
Everyone around
Wait, why are you
still
pointing at
sees
me
it.
while you're saying
No,
oblivious?
No, for real though. Like some people they can see it, but
They're like, oh
It's
yeah,
just-
maybe that's
it's-
just like that.
yeah.
Wait,
you
so
know,
Aria, do you think it's selfish?
he's a nice guy.
Do
You
you think
know?
it's a selfish thing?
Guys, this
He's driving me to the
Oh,
airport.
yeah,
He's a
right.
nice guy.
What
man.
brings
Like, I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie, I'm
shaking
doing for
your
the
table.
thing. That brings me
Break
to
it.
the point I want to
There's
make
nothing to
about
be
this. Like,
broken
on.
I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
perspective on this issue, and I really hope nobody crucifies me for this.
We
But-
will, but go ahead.
Go for it.
Low key, the friends to lovers pipeline is only as bashed as it is today when the friend who actually wants to be the lover is the guy.
What
Okay,
do you
yeah.
mean?
I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Facts.
It's
When
true.
babes fall
It's
in love
true.
with their friends of long time and
But let
decide
me
to
tell you
confess
why.
to him.
Okay, this is
In fact, there are several times
Facts.
where he can even become the dickhead
What?
for the way he rejects her.
Facts.
Wait, let me tell you
Facts.
why though. Let me tell you why. I feel like a lot of men are attracted to a lot of male are attracted to their female friends. That's why. So when your female friend that you're attracted to is telling you, I'm actually feeling you, all of a sudden it's like, I mean, shit, let's go.
No, I beg.
No,
I beg your pardon.
I
No,
can't
no,
lie. First of all,
no, it's true.
First of all,
It's
I just
true,
want to
no.
issue a disclaimer. I'm not attracted to any of my friends in this room.
Same,
Okay,
Secondly,
nobody's talking about the
I
men in
think-
this room.
I know,
But
but
let's
I
be
also
realistic.
think
Let's
I
be
think the
realistic.
assumption that guys are always into their female friends,
No,
or rather
always.
that
No
they will
one said
smash
always.
it given the chance, I think it's problematic.
Let's not talk
But
indefinite.
it's true.
I'm not
I feel
talking
like
about
that's a
always.
lie,
Yeah,
Sha.
I'm not talking about
It's
always.
true, but it's not
it is.
always
It's not
true.
true. It's not true.
A lot of people that a lot of
true,
guys
but it's
that are
not
friends
always
with.
It's
that-
only true when
Listen,
you're hungry. That's fact. It's only true
And
when
the truth of
you're
the matter
hungry.
is, and the truth of the matter is, the reason why I hate that thing is because in most of the scenarios where it's true, truth of the matter is not even that you guys just became friends, and the guy's been chasing you. And you said
It's a
no
format
since.
of-
It's
Yeah.
the fact
Let
that
me
you
tell
guys.
you.
It's probably that you guys met. The guy tried to move to you.
Exactly.
And you
Yeah.
and Z.
Exactly.
Now you and let's just be friends.
Exactly.
You were never friends.
No, but that's not.
But then that
I don't like
now
this topic.
converting
Have
into
to
a
be-
5-year.
You survive.
No, but like
It's hitting home.
different because that converting into a 5-year established friendship and then you circle back like, yo, you want to try this again 5 years later?
In
What do
what
you
You know
way?
what I mean? As
Yeah,
per,
but-
People like
as per you meet someone,
Mhm.
you curve them, it turns into friendship.
Yeah.
And then 5 years down the line, they're like, do you want to revisit that?
It was never a friendship.
I mean, yeah, no,
Yeah, exactly.
I
It
get
was
that. I
So
mean,
that
never a
means on that
friendship.
other
Yeah,
person's
yeah.
side,
That was real hope.
the person that moved to you in the beginning, that person literally maintained that friendship for the, you know,
Potential.
So-
yeah.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And
You-
those people
I
know, and the
understand.
truth of the matter is, you can
That's
always
why-
see,
No.
like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm
So
so
he
serious.
was
Like,
investing,
and the truth of the matter is
basically.
that, like, when babes are honest with themselves, because, like, and the thing about, I'm friends with a lot of girls, and, like, bro, I feel like we have enough conversations that, like, bro, me and my best friend can definitely identify which of, like, the people in our friendship group right now, if given the chance, would sleep with her. Like, it's not difficult to see.
That is why say them by name. Name and shame. Name and shame. You know, say sauce. Everybody's sauce. No, literally.
Anyways,
No,
I think
but-
you guys are being too harsh. I do understand from a perspective of where, like, okay, you guys are childhood friends and you guys have known each other for like 10 years, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's get shit popping. That I disagree with.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a level where I do agree with, and maybe it's because obviously it's personal to me. You being friends
God.
first,
It's
not
hitting
how-
Okay,
home.
now.
Yeah, but that was
no.
never in question.
but she doesn't agree with it at all.
No,
Wait,
she
wait,
said
wait. I
being
didn't
friends
say I don't
first.
agree
Yeah,
with
no.
it at all.
She's talking
I'm
about
I'm talking about what you said at the beginning. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
that's what she's
long-standing
talking about.
10-year
Okay, so
friendship.
say that.
Yeah.
Say
And
long.
That's what
also
she
the
said.
friendship.
now.
Why?
That's what
Calm
she
down.
said.
You're triggered, but
No one's
relax.
asking.
Relax. I'm not talking for you, honey.
Baby girl,
So
calm
nobody
down.
else
Even the like the way you define friendship, even my friends that maybe we're not that close friends. Okay, maybe I should say my close friends.
Right.
Because
Okay, yeah.
even my friends that we're not that close, you don't talk that often. I'm not saying I'm not talking about those friends. I'm talking about close friends.
Okay.
And since everyone was looking at me like, what kind of personal? The reason that this came to my head was me watching Bridgerton.
Penelope.
So the whole Penelope and Colin, I just
Pen.
God forbid. Can never be me.
Matt said, God
that
forbid.
whole like I'm just not.
No,
with
but
it.
how
I
was
don't
it?
like
Ah,
it.
you're
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
Yeah, me
another
too.
to add on top of that, but it only works when is the male friend that likes the
Female friend. I agree with that.
I wonder why
And
that
he has to
is.
like you more.
He has to like you more.
I
Yeah,
wonder
he has
why
to
that
like you. 100%. It can never
is.
work unless
It's
the man
just
likes
the way
you
the
more.
cookie crumbles.
That's
You know the funniest
facts.
thing?
Facts,
Cookie
though.
crumbles.
I hear
Yeah.
babes say so often that like, yo, my relationship can't work unless the other person likes me more than I like them. Like,
That's
bro,
true.
can you guys wait? So in fact, can you guys like actually sit down and break that?
That's
down?
a lie, though.
Why?
No,
It's
we'll talk about
problematic.
that.
We'll bring-
No,
wait,
we'll
wait.
talk
I think it's
about that.
problematic.
Let's
personally.
get into
Is that
Kita's
your
hot
hot
take.
take?
Yeah, what is your
My
hot take?
Is that your hot take?
You guys don't want to know.
No, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into your hot
Actually,
take.
speak like your hot take.
Back
Make what my
yourself.
hot take.
The fact that why is it that we women want the men to like them more? Like, what?
That can be my yeah, but I don't think hot
Yeah,
take
but
can be
I think it's
but
a
that can be my hot
specific
take.
That could be
demographic
a
of
hot
women.
take.
Nah. I just think girls like attention, to be honest.
And that's fair.
No, that's fair, but I don't
Okay.
think that's
Yeah,
why.
no,
I think-
no, yeah,
I think
it's
you
not-
guys
it's
are
not bad.
socialized
Is
to
it?
like attention.
It's not
Like,
bad, but I don't believe in the man liking the woman as much. You know, sometimes girls just get tired, to be honest.
Let me tell you why I believe that it should be. And I'm going to say things that's going to sound like I'm generalizing, but I'm technically not because as we know, nothing is definite, right?
So
it's
just put
like,
disclaimers.
yeah, that's my disclaimer because
So
I'm
you're
gonna
just
I'm
gonna
gonna be saying a lot of like
generalize,
So you're
always.
generalizing while you're saying
I'm gonna
it.
generalize,
Right,
but I want to
right.
let you guys know
That's
I'm not
fine.
generalizing, right? So I genuinely believe.
In quotes, in quotes.
I genuinely, quote unquote, right? I genuinely believe that like women, if we like a guy, we're very like forthcoming with our love. It's like when you like someone, it's obvious that you like someone. Where guys, I guess because of the way you guys are conditioned or you're not really taught to like show your love. It's one of those. Wait, I'm getting there.
No.
You're not conditioned to like show your love and stuff like that. That you guys are more withholding. So for a woman, it's like before I can even fully give you the amount of love that I feel like you deserve, I need to make sure that it's a safe space. Josh is thinking if that makes sense.
No, I have something to say, but
It's not everybody. Yeah. The disclaimer,
yeah.
right?
Let
Yeah.
it
So
all
two
land.
questions to that. Because,
Right.
And like I'm even going to explain the first question a bit more so you can understand where I'm coming from. But
Okay.
I'm going to ask the question and explain where I'm coming from in a bigger sense. Number one is, does nobody feel like in this scenario like men deserve safe spaces for themselves at all? And let me explain what I mean when I say that. Like, if you guys remember about like 8 years ago, like literally a lifetime ago, there was a trend on Twitter where it was like, oh, move to boys 2016 or something like that. And literally the whole point of the trend was that girls were literally meant to like go into the DMs of guys that they liked and then shoot their shot. I'm not even joking to you, bro. That trend, I remember it was like January 1st, 2015 or 2016 or so. By January 2nd, the trend had become waste his time 2K16. Do you know why? Because every babe had reached out to like, let's say 3 guys or so. The first 2 guys had rejected them. They said, I would rather mock the ocean than move to a nigga again.
No, but okay.
But that can't be the
You guys
reason.
don't show rejection, guys.
You like
No,
what you
true.
like,
Women
nah.
don't like rejection. No, you're right, 100%.
Do you think guys like rejection?
No, I understand that, but society has
No,
conditioned
I-
the body
I- I-
to
no,
take
but-
it.
I don't think
No.
it's like-
I don't think it's a thing of
Yeah,
like.
but
I
some
think
girls I'm
guys
thinking in
can
his life
just
where I wanted
handle.
to jump off a cold bridge.
I thought bridge is crazy.
At least make it
No,
third
no,
mainland.
What's going on?
No, I can't do third mainland. Do you remember when Tiwa Savage's husband wanted to jump? They found him. The cold bridge, they won't find me.
It's a drug. It's a drug. No,
All I'm saying is, Sha, if I
warning,
decide to
I
use the
beg.
cold bridge, they won't find me before. I'll be swimming before they find me.
We don't endorse this.
We don't
Kisha, we love you. We love you. Yo, I'm tearing up.
Anyways, to bring things down, I want to share my own hot take.
Okay.
My hot take is when I hate when people make plans that's convenient to them. So maybe it's like, specifically when it's always near their house. Bro, I don't want to, like, I'm trekking.
I don't grab.
So I'll come downstairs.
I'm pointing at you.
Fuck off.
What's the problem?
No, she's pointing at you right there.
I think the whole point is we're making plans like let's both of us inconvenience ourselves. One person
Right.
might keep inconveniencing themselves just because.
Oh, so you're saying like basically there should be a discussion
She meets
about
in the
like
middle.
where you're
Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah,
something
let's
in the
assume
middle.
I live in West,
Ah.
you live in East, and every single time we want to link up, you're like, come to East.
Yeah,
Why?
or like so just the place.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Do you know the
No,
funniest?
that's-
Do you know the funniest thing about this?
I'm not-
Remember when our parents used to yarn, oh, that your friend that you're always going to his house.
Why
Yeah.
is it not coming to your
You
yard?
either die a hero or
Yeah.
live long enough to see
No, literally.
No, because it's like, bro, so I'm trekking.
Well,
I agree with that.
Taking into advantage. You're not saying, okay, let's go on a late night. I'll not be the only one on night.
On that trip, yeah. And you have 2 stops.
and
The person has 2 stops home.
And
Let me 2 stops. They'll go up.
And
What
that's
you mean?
and that's
I'll
even-
come downstairs. fuck off.
No, but that's
You know the worst
even
part? I hate to be
banking
that
on
guy,
the
but
fact
you
that
don't
night
listen to
shift
me.
is running.
It's
the
running.
night
Yeah.
shift.
Yeah.
That
That outside
like,
is
like,
More
this is
time you
boosting you,
pay
man.
that Uber £60.
Yeah,
back.
girl. Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
But that all takes into consideration, though. That's why it's
Be
important.
considerate.
Yeah.
Be considerate to your
Be
friends.
considerate to your friends.
That's why it's
Thank
like,
you.
And
But on a general
But
level,
wait, wait.
Yeah.
all of this,
But-
I don't
And
help my friends
communication is
move.
Right.
All of this, I can't take my friends to the airport.
No,
I will
take my
never.
friends to the airport.
All of this, I never help my friends move.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of this,
yeah,
I can
yeah.
never take my friends to the
Sorry.
airport. Like,
It's
dog,
very-
come on,
it's
like.
selfish,
who
man.
said that?
Yeah,
If
like
you can't do like
that's
obviously,
true.
I feel like generally on social media, there's been a trend of
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah,
nobody
I don't
owes
need
you
nobody.
anything. Like,
I don't understand
This whole
that.
hyper.
The whole P that
Yeah,
no
I
one
don't
owes you
need
anything.
no-
You don't
I don't
owe
understand
anyone
that.
anything. Selfish.
I don't
God.
understand that because at the end of the day, what are friends for?
Yeah, they
Facts.
Like,
True.
if you're not willing to show up for your friends, why do you expect people to show up for you?
Exactly.
If you have that mentality of you owe no one nothing, then that means they owe you nothing as well.
I genuinely hate the concept of like, oh, we came into this world alone. We didn't need anybody. Like somebody, first of all, someone brushed you to this. You didn't even
Yeah.
come into the world alone.
Bruh.
Someone pushed
Right.
you for 36 hours with your big ass head. Like they pushed you out.
Ripping vagina
Bro,
and
literally,
assholes.
and then they sew it back up.
Hey, yo.
So you didn't even come in here alone. No, you
That is
didn't even come in here alone.
Some
And
people
then-
get stitches based on birth, and then you now say you came here alone. Hi.
Hi, what's your hot take?
Well, just because you play Afrobeats doesn't make you a good DJ.
No word.
That's my hot take.
What's it? Boiler
I'm
room,
not gonna
culture
lie.
room. I saw you there.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey.
That
Culture-
culture-
culture room?
Culture
I have something to
custodian.
say.
What do you call it?
I have
saw you
something to
there.
say about that culture.
That is crazy.
I think as a culture, guys are lying to themselves. Because true,
Yeah, like
I can't lie to you. I have seen maybe one video total from that culture FM where the mix is not fire.
No.
Like that shit is fresh. Even that one with the white girl that was doing that mix of Wizkid's Ololufe
Stop
and
it.
Don't. That shit was fresh.
No.
Stop it.
I feel
Just so
like
you don't go out.
no,
Just
that
say
shit
you don't
fresh.
go out. Just say you don't go out.
bro, chill,
He's sitting in the
chill,
corner.
chill. It's not compulsory lie, you know. Like
Oh.
I don't
No,
know.
literally.
I don't know if this girl's your friend.
No. Or you want her to be your friend?
I'm not gonna lie. That was
Baby's bad.
that.
Okay.
That,
That's
that,
why.
that,
Know about
transition
bad, like,
did not
Frodo,
make
that's like,
sense in any way.
All I know is I heard that pee in my room yesterday.
Yeah,
I was
but-
nodding my head.
But so that means you just don't go out. That's what you're trying to say.
Because he's always writing.
Facts.
Ah, okay, fair enough. That's why you don't know.
Ah,
See, I don't even know what
okay.
video you guys are talking about. But all I know is that most of
No,
those
I'll
videos
show
with the
you.
DJs in their room or they be playing and the people will be dancing in the back, a lot of them are ass. And I need you guys to be so fucking for real right now.
And sometimes I just think it's the Hennessy though.
Bro.
For real.
My
Yes,
problem with
real.
Yes,
DJing
sir.
is that people confuse having good songs on your DJ playlist with being a good DJ.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Thank you.
The
Exactly.
value is how you mix the songs, how you
Yeah.
transition, how you
Yeah.
go from place to place, how long you play.
Right.
Not just having good songs. Like,
Yeah.
And you also need to know your crowd as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one day we're gonna talk about those people that just go on TikTok and listen to somebody else's mix and come to a party and play the exact same mix. Be original, be yourself, bro. Like be yourself. It's okay. Just watch it. Like
Shout out the real DJs, man.
real.
Those guys are
Seriously.
for real. Larry, what's your hot take?
My hot take. I find that there's something so condescending about the way Nigerians say "fine girl."
Fine girl.
Larry, I've been talking about this fine girl for 30 days and 30 nights.
find your
There's
dog.
just something so condescending about it. I don't know.
It's
the
almost as
action-
if you're calling a dog. Like,
Yeah.
Just say you hate
Like-
men and go.
we don't hate men in this.
You guys hate real lovers. That's the
No.
truth.
Fine girl cannot be your benchmark.
No, literally. I want you to try
Facts,
it
facts,
out.
facts.
Be better. Wait, hit us with a line with
You
fine
know when
girl.
someone is
Hit us with a line.
just say, "Ah, fine girl. I like your stature."
what is your success rate?
What's your name?
0% success rate, bro.
It's giving on.
It's giving. It's not giving
on.
up. It's giving Dapper driver, bro.
Just say
It's giving up.
you just have to give them one soft lamba. Just be like, "Ah, fine girl, what's up? I go by Godwin by name."
If that's your soft
Godwin is
number, I feel so bad for every girl you move to.
Godwin is
But it
crazy.
wants a certain demographic. Like,
What?
Yeah,
the worst
true.
You guys have to know your
Yeah, in Oshodi,
True.
Surulere
Oshodi-
Market.
Stop
That
that. Stop that.
That is fine.
True.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There are baddies in Oshodi.
Yeah,
There are baddies in
and that's
Oshodi.
hilarious. There's bodies everywhere.
It's just
Yeah,
it's
baddies
all
in
is
They can't be
packaging at the end of the day.
By definition, they can't be
All is
baddies.
Even
packaging.
no. Even
Yeah,
without
bad
the
boys,
packaging.
everywhere.
People,
baddies
everyone,
everywhere.
everyone is someone else's property. Even without the packaging, you don't have to package yourself to,
But I can't lie to you
No.
guys, so please. I feel like we should even set like a proper definition for it. I don't think the term baddie is a relative term at all, man. It's a very fixed
No, but I mean, I
definition.
think
Like, when you say a baddie,
it's how you
know.
carry yourself.
It's
to
a
be
state
honest.
of mind.
Yeah, it's how you carry yourself.
And you're a
No,
you don't even have to
It's not a state of
Some
mind.
people
It's
think
a
they're
state of
baddie.
mind.
It's a lifestyle, man. For me, like,
When you say baddie is a lifestyle, I can't lie. It's giving Ron's babe. When I'm hearing baddie is a lifestyle.
Baddie is not a lifestyle. man.
Ron's babe. That's what I'm thinking.
I think
What do you mean it's a
there's different
lifestyle?
definitions of body depending on
Yeah.
the context. Like, if
Do
you're
you guys
saying,
want to give us a definition?
I feel like it's how you just carry yourself, to be
Fair
honest.
enough.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
guys
can
are
be
overcomplicating
you can be fine
it.
as hell.
I swear
You can be
if
fine
there's
as
something
hell,
bad,
but
it's
then
bad,
you don't
it's
carry
bad.
yourself well.
Okay, so if you see a girl
No,
Yeah.
that is not your physical type at all, but she carries herself like she's the shit, you're gonna say she's a baddie?
That's what I'm saying.
baddie, like,
It's
No,
not.
wait,
It doesn't
true,
work
true.
both
Like,
ways.
you don't even have to be
True.
into
No,
a
that's
girl
not
to
right.
call
I
her
mean,
a
I
baddie.
And not
I
carry
could be a
yourself
baddie
well
young
and disqualify you
lady.
from being a baddie.
Yes.
But just because you carry yourself well doesn't make you a baddie.
You don't have to be like, oh my god, I want that girl to be a baddie. You can just be, oh, that's a baddie. She looks like she goes spa every 2 weeks, like on a
But that
very
isn't
regular
baddie.
basis.
Yeah, but that's
What
not
the
baddie.
hell?
Taking care of
This is
her
single-handedly
body.
ruining Ron's babe culture. What do you mean by go
babe.
spa?
Sorry, we don't endorse Ron's babe culture.
My hot take is that I found out recently that people are moving to people on LinkedIn.
Wow.
That's my
Bro, that's old
take.
news. Where have you been?
I'm sorry, what? Like they're using
Where have
LinkedIn
you
for
been?
Hinge.
Yeah.
Are you guys mannerless?
I mean, it's
You're
not
meant to be
that.
connecting and networking.
Bro, that's been
Yeah,
happening
but-
since at
As
least
in
20
Canada.
You guys can't be
You know
for
what?
real.
You know what?
LinkedIn.
Do you know what's
Yeah.
LinkedIn for? Come to my church.
Yeah.
Come to whose church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, babe, she messaged me on LinkedIn. Oh yeah, like I'm
That's what
doing
I'm
this.
saying.
She said I'm doing this talk for young women to get into tech. I said, okay, cool. She said, okay, let's do a meet. Let's call so we can have like an intro thing. And then it's okay, let's call. Next thing you know,
Have you found Christ?
Can I talk to you about Lord and Savior?
no, she said, you did you go to church? I want to
Ah.
invite you to my church. I said,
No, but that's
"Excuse me?"
mannerless.
So we only last time you go to church.
That's
That's a
harassment.
different
man.
question.
Yeah.
That's a different
Yeah,
question.
True. No, but that's mannerless. That's actually mannerless. I can't lie.
That's a wrong
Bro,
approach.
this has been
Yeah,
going on
time
for
to hit
time.
you.
It's for real.
Bro,
That's what
it's been
it
going
is.
on for time. Like,
Yeah,
LinkedIn
true,
became
though.
a whole like influencer thing.
I've heard people that call their pastor daddy.
Oh,
Bro, it's so scary to me. I only have two fathers. My father in heaven and the one that
Thank you.
that's on earth.
Thank
What do you mean daddy?
Else.
do you know what?
Daddy,
I
right
can't lie.
on.
I also feel like, and I won't lie, I
What
feel
do you
like
mean?
the Nigerian accent makes it worse, bro. Because they're not saying daddy, they say daddy.
I can't lie. My church in Nigeria, they
Guys,
used to call the
it's
pastor
a-
Big Daddy.
Yeah, different.
What's
like-
going
That's
on?
It's a
nasty,
cultural
bro.
thing.
Fire,
It's a cultural
Yeah,
thing.
but
No,
what-
but it's not. It's
Well,
do you know why it's a cultural?
You're there for Christ now. What's going
No.
on with?
It's not a
It's a
culture.
The
cultural
reason why it's a
thing.
cultural thing is because Africans have an issue with magnifying the person that is meant to be your guide. He's not meant to be Jesus.
Exactly, yeah.
You guys are glorifying a man. You're not glorifying like you're going to church and you're putting someone on a pedestal that is just a man.
Yeah,
And
like-
that's why you feel like it's
And-
okay to call someone that.
And then
That's not
what
right.
happened?
All right, guys. So let's get into this episode. This is going to be a general get to know episode. So, gonna ask you guys a couple of Q&As. You know, obviously I asked the Q. You guys do the A. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That was right.
We answered before
I
the
just want
question
you
That's
guys
kind
to
of
know
crazy,
that was
guys.
right.
I don't know. I was expecting a bit of support. That's
Yeah.
You lost now. I'm going to ask you guys Q&A.
you know what's crazy?
You know when you need extra words for your essay. So you have to add it. You have to say the same thing again.
And I'm going
and
to
again.
explain why.
Yeah.
In my explanation why, we touch upon the reason why.
Too much now. That's too much. Sometimes I speak English like it's my first
Okay.
language.
So what's our first cue?
What's
All
the
right.
issue?
The first question is,
Yeah, we ready. Hit us.
what personal... Oh, God.
Were you ready for this deep question?
English. You know what? I'm ready. I don't know. English sometimes, you know.
Nah, it's like, go for it.
What personal values or philosophies do you live by, and how do they shape the way you approach life and work?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I know you thrive in this kind of question.
This is Josh's side.
Literally.
I think me and to do unto others what you want them to do unto you.
Absolutely.
If I'm going to do something, I'm going to think, okay, if this person runs this POV, how am I going to feel?
Right.
I like it.
That's a good one.
If I like it, it's okay, we'll proceed. If we're not, kind of have to go back and re-strategize.
That's a good one.
I agree, and I think that's one of mine as well. But building on that, another one I think about a lot is someone told me some time ago that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Ooh.
So I think that, so in every scenario, like I would always ask what I want to ask, do what I want to do. Like, because if you don't, 100% of the shots you don't take, you're gonna miss it.
Right.
Even if the answer is no, yes, it's a miss, but it would have been a miss if you didn't do it anyways.
I think I struggle with that. So I was like, what if they laugh at you?
I
think that's
it's not with.
But no, what were you gonna say?
I think mine is just to be kind. Like, no matter what you do, be kind, be considerate, because like sometimes what you do can make or break someone's day, someone's week, someone's month. Literally, even if you're getting a coffee, say thank you, say please, like open doors for people, like just be a decent person.
You know, it's true. Anytime I'm on the phone calling some like a service provider, when they say how are you, I say I'm fine. How are you?
Me too.
And
Yeah,
they're always so shocked that someone's asking.
Yeah. They will say, "Oh, thank you for asking." Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Even the ones on like chat support, when they ask you and you're like, yeah, I'm good, how are you? And they're like, you're the first person that's responding to like, I'm just like, just be kind to people.
And now, building off that, if you're actually rude to service staff, I can't mess with you. We
Yeah.
can't even be friends. People that you go to a restaurant, they put the water on your table and you just keep talking. You don't even say thank you. Someone just put like, I don't know. But anyways, my own is I live my life like
Top life crew.
but I live my life like it's being filmed, and if they play it for the whole world to see, I won't be ashamed.
She actually does do exactly that. The worst part is she literally does exactly that.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know, I think maybe when I was younger, you know when they used to talk about rapture and they'll be like, they'll play your whole life. I just will be asking you, so why did you now do that? So I guess I try to be the best version. Obviously, I'm human, I'm going to make mistakes, I'm going to falter. But I try to be the best version of myself just because, like...
I get that, because even like growing up as a kid, like my parents, they didn't say don't go outside, don't have fun, don't do this, don't do that. They were just like, whatever you do, just remember that this is our family name.
Yeah, remember
the house
remember
it come from.
Don't do anything that will bring shame to not only yourself, but also the people that you love and the people that are around you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
To be OG.
Okay,
You know the band.
you already know what the fuck going on.
Yeah.
Touching on what Nari said, to be honest, I think for me is being emotionally intelligent. Yeah, so like not just being kind as well, because like you know sometimes.
No, let
No,
him
but no,
explain it
for
now.
real,
Let
bro.
him
Why are you trying to act?
Let him land. Like it was Toby, are you
No,
triggered?
no.
Why are you like silencing
One man told her that he's emotionally intelligent. That's why him
No, for real, like you need to be very emotionally intelligent because a lot of people don't like have that skill. So like imagine someone's going through something and then the person's going through something and you're just saying, oh yeah, me too, I went through that. You get that kind of thing, you know. Listen first, give advice where you can, and then you know you can move forward. But like, you know, some people don't.
But just because you're going through something doesn't mean you need to be a horrible person.
That shouldn't be the response.
No, it's not a response, but some people take the piss.
Absolutely.
I mean,
What to me is trying to say, just shut up and empathize.
Right. Listen, allow the person that is going through it to tell you that they're going through it. Don't say, oh yeah, you're going through this. I've been through it.
Yes, I do agree. But some people take the piss. Yes, you're going through something, and you're honestly allowed like 100%. But like, it doesn't mean you should be a horrible person and then take the piss out of me, and then I'm now feeling bad because you were horrible to me. That's just what I
Yeah,
I
hear what you're
saying.
But that's not touching on emotional intelligence.
No, I know.
Yeah, like it's just a scenario like I'm saying. So like for example, you're talking to me, you explain your problem, you know, and then you're saying, oh yeah, I went through it, and then I'm like, oh, me too, I had a bad day, you know, like can you imagine that I missed my train, I missed my you're
Basically, read the room and say that.
Yeah, exactly. You're literally missing what the person is telling you. And then you're just putting yourself as the main character in the situation. To like understand the situation.
But I think to go on a like little bit of a tangent or a lot of what you're saying and kind of what you're saying as well. When it comes down to it, I think one thing that's always been an important guiding principle in my life has been to try and understand the fact that I know it sounds really weird and kind of like counter narcissistic, I guess, but I try to remember that literally everybody in the world has as complex a thought process and backstory and everything that they're going through as I do, if that makes sense. So when I walk into a room and I'm a bit shorter with like my friends or my cousin or my family than I should be, I have the context of my day. I know I've had a really shit day, I've had a wrong day at work, I've had like this and this happened, and I'm in a really bad mood. And so like, I think it's a bit more understandable that I'm a bit testy with somebody. However, when somebody else does the same thing, maybe like your mom is at home and she slams the door a bit too loud, or you don't think, oh, like maybe she's just had a really, really long day. So yeah, it's just been trying to remember the fact that there's pretty much everybody on the planet has a reason why they are doing anything that they are doing, if that makes sense.
Some people
Even
are
if
evil.
even if it's evil to us, like there are a lot of people who are quote unquote evil even throughout history. Like if you sit down and talk to them, you can genuinely tell that they wholeheartedly believe that they're doing the right thing.
But then that also goes to show that, like, a lot of the time, when I enter into conflict with someone that is around me or a friend or whatever, I always make sure that I understand the intention behind their actions before I lose my shit.
Right.
Basically.
So that makes sense first.
Because, like, a lot of the time, people don't intend to offend or to hurt you.
Right.
But then when they do, at the end of the day, just be okay with apologizing. Just be okay with, like, when you're doing something to someone else, no matter how bad your day is, don't take it out on someone else. Because that other person that you're taking it out on, yeah, I come home and I'm testy and I'm giving you an attitude, but that person, I don't know what that person's day has been like. So they're on the receiving end of my attitude, and then if they give it back to me, that can just escalate even further. Because a lot of the time, when you take things out on people or you basically project onto others, it can take the littlest thing and escalate it into something that it doesn't need to be, just because you couldn't, like, rein in your bad day, and then you went to go and affect somebody that wasn't even the perpetrator of your bad day.
I mean, I think there are definitely two sides to that as well, because I do agree in terms of, like, you can understand if you're short with someone, you can understand, okay, well, this is what happened, but if someone is short with you, you're not really considerate enough to, like, sometimes to understand that, okay, this and that could happen. But also on the opposite end of that is also giving people grace, right? So even sometimes when people do things that they may not even have a good reason that they did that, maybe they were just short with you and it was not a good thing. Knowing, let's assume if Ariel, like, I know you, you're my friend, and let's assume you do something to me that I know you didn't have a good reason, you yell at me or you say something that's rude and you didn't have a good reason to say it. But I'm like, I know Ariel, and Ariel is a good person. So even if, like, she said this thing and I know that she had no good reason to say that, I will give you that grace that, okay, you know what, you made a mistake. Because at the end of the day, we're all imperfect human beings, right?
And I feel like communication boils into that as well. So, like, even from that interaction, like, you wouldn't just take it away with that, oh, Ariel is a good person and she had a bad day and she said this. It would be a communication. You'd be like, oh, well, I didn't really like what you said. And then I'll explain to you maybe why I said it, or I'll apologize or something. I think communication goes a long way, because even at that, even though I have someone I think is a good person and they do something wayward one day and I'm like, okay, no, they're a good person, but they did that, and I never speak about it. And it just keeps building on. My sense of them being a good person is diminishing because we're not talking, we're not communicating. So I think it's important to communicate.
That's why speak to your friends. Like, if there's been something that you don't like, if there's been a form of conflict, actually speak to your friends. Because a lot of people withdraw and then it just escalates further. Like, just speak to your friends. Like, I hate it when there's, like, proper conflict, and instead of talking about it, you just, like, you run away for 2 weeks.
Don't solve it in, like, 24, 48 hours. In fact, I can even let's take it.
One week is fine.
They may not
And
know.
then you're here saying 3 months later that you need to talk about it. I'm so sorry. Quite frankly, I don't care.
No, literally.
But
It's like, now we cut my brain open and just literally.
I do think, like, while I agree with you on that, and I'm very frustrated by conflict avoidant people, especially because I feel as though I've tried to build myself up to be a very, like, conflict. I think the only way around conflict is kind of through it. But it's also a thing where I read recently and have come to understand that a lot of the times when you find people who are quite conflict avoidant as adults, it's usually as a result of trauma that has represented itself in their childhood.
Deal with it.
I thank you. Thank you. Josh took it. I feel like after a certain age, childhood trauma is just an excuse.
Let me finish first, because I think it's also a thing where when it comes down to the environment that a lot of, like, people grew up in, you have to be asking yourselves whether, okay, when this person was a child, were they able to open their mouth and speak up in their house about things that made them uncomfortable without their parents shouting them down? And if that was not the, like, way it goes, like, every time you bring something up to your parents, they're yelling at you, you eventually develop into a place where you're kind of scared to express yourself, because you don't want to express, yo, you hurt me by doing this, because you feel as though you're giving that person power over you by admitting that they had that effect. And two, you're scared in some way that, like, the response that they're going to give you is not going to, like, be productive, it's not going to match, or they're going to dismiss what you're saying, or even worse, like, push back and insult you. I think to those kinds of people, what I would say, especially because I feel as though I used to be quite conflict avoidant, like, especially around, like, when I was in uni, all of that, like, part of the reason why I kind of like got myself or forced myself through that is because I started trying to train myself to every time I'm in a situation of conflict, what I try and make sure I do is I have to speak to the other person about what's going on, and I need to make sure if I take time in a situation to like sort through my thoughts or figure out what I'm going to say, all that time is for is to make sure that what I am about to say from my mouth matches what is in my heart,
Right.
and doesn't contain anything that is rude or that is going to set
Right.
you off or that is
Right.
unnecessarily confrontational.
Yeah.
So if I can remove the confrontational like aspects of it and communicate what I feel like has hurt you,
Right.
then everything else between you and God.
Right.
Whether or not you feel you did the thing, whether you
Right.
want to apologize for the thing, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But I have spoken
Absolutely.
about what's on my chest and I feel
Yeah.
better and I can move on.
But that's on the basis of you actually coming back to
Yeah.
speak on it. Some people avoid like conflict, and then they, in fact, in their rush to avoid conflict, they avoid you in total.
Yeah.
So that 3 months I'm talking about where they say, oh, let me process it. In that 3 months, they're not speaking to you. Like, that's where the problem lies. You can avoid conflict. You can say, let me have just an hour just to like get myself recalibrate, or a week, whatever you want, recalibrate. But make sure you come back.
Yeah.
And come back in a time that is sensible.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
No, real though. Like, heavy on that sensible.
You guys have
No.
a deadline.
But wait,
Can
yeah,
I
I was
ask
gonna
you
say,
a
but
follow-up
wait,
question?
Josh.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say,
Josh.
like, I love that you used yourself as an example.
Yeah.
It's like it's very critical what you said. Like you took it upon yourself to make sure you addressed it because it's something you identified.
Right.
There are people who actively refuse to do that, and that's why I
It's not
was so
addressing your
quick.
problems, grows
That's
them.
why I was so quick to say like deal with it, because
Yeah.
I'm not saying like obviously everyone has their childhood traumas, everyone has those experiences,
Right.
and I don't expect the people who've gone through those type of experiences to one day just automatically be like great at communicating. But it's very clear when someone is trying and when they aren't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Oftentimes they can say, "Oh yes, no, like I don't really like talking about this," and then they use the trauma as almost as an excuse to not go through it.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's what I'm talking about when I say like deal with it, because like people, there are people that I know of that they are absolutely aware of this, and like you, they've tried to make sure that okay, in this situation, let me practice, let me try,
Yeah.
and like it may not be that they do have the long conversation, but the fact that like you can see they're trying to go through that is something that me as the person that they are upset with can say, okay, cool. I'll be extremely like much more patient with you, and I'll make sure that I'm even going to make the conversation easier and try to like
Exactly.
bring
Yeah.
possible solutions.
it's
Yeah.
endearing to see someone actually try.
Try
Yeah.
it.
But now
Yeah.
let me
I
ask
can
you
meet
guys
you
a follow-up
halfway, but
question.
I can't meet you
Yeah.
anywhere.
Exactly.
Let me now ask you guys a follow-up question.
Right.
So what if in this scenario, okay, like you said, that person is coming to talk to you about something that like even you, by the time you hear it, you can hold up your hands and say, yo, I did wrong and I wronged you in that scenario. And it feels a bit weird to me just to be like on top of the fact that like, yo, you're the one that kind of did wrong in that scenario. You're basically saying, yo, like, these are the terms on which you are able to come and talk to me about how I have hurt you. And if you try and do it outside of that, that's not okay, and I'm not going to listen to you.
No. I'm not saying that at all. So
No.
basically, there's two types of wrongs, right? There's wrongs that like even when you did it, it was wrong,
Right.
and then there's the wrongs that you had no idea
You had no
about.
idea. It wasn't
So if
your
it's a situation where I had no idea, and you're coming to tell me, like as a person as well, there's ways I have to be able to take in the information. I'm not saying that like they have to come prim and proper, and it has to be laid on a plate for me to be able to act on that. Like at the end of the day, whatever they say, right, it's because they are supposedly a friend, that's someone I care about. It's like I would want to take that on just because that's me as a person. But there are ways of making that conversation easier, is all I'm saying. Because ultimately, right, we've spoken about communication. It's a two-way thing.
Right.
And it's about, as Ariel said, meeting in the middle, right? Because we all have different communication styles. We all have different like adapting styles as well, and like conflict resolution styles. So
Yeah.
it's all about like understanding one another and meeting yourselves in the middle to ultimately like resolve things.
And I'll say one thing before we move on to the next conversation or the next question, is that I definitely feel like there's also an assumption that people think because someone is confrontational, that it makes it easy to be confrontational. Like people still, even if you're like, okay, you're addressing, it's like what she said about like the only way to get through conflict, the only way to work. The only way to whatever conflict is to go through it, rise through it. It just means that someone that's confidential understands that is like, okay, for us to move past this hurdle, we have to talk about it. We can't just pretend like nothing happened because we will never be the same, or there will be like unresolved issues. But that doesn't mean that's easy, because even for me, like I would say I'm a very confrontational person, but nobody likes to be like, okay, well, you did this, that hurt me. No one likes to have to even talk, like bring it up. It's not easy to even talk about in the first place. And it's also one of those things where it's like, are you crying? Is it very deep?
I'm screaming.
You're
He's crying.
Sorry, can I quickly add on to that? I was also gonna say that, like, on communication, right? Because in those type of scenarios that you mentioned, a lot of the time people would say that, okay, but I told you how I felt and you still did it. Like, communication isn't you coming and then just spilling how you feel and then leaving. That's not communicating. That's a service announcement. Communication is back and forth.
It's a service announcement.
You can't just come and spill your heart and not want to take anything in. And just believe that everything you've said is valid and it should be actioned.
Right.
That's not life.
No, I agree.
Especially when, like, it's a misunderstanding.
I agree.
That's why in communication, you have to be communicating with someone that can comprehend.
Yeah.
Because if you're communicating and the person is just...
That's
what she said.
That's bars.
I find that people don't, like, when they're having a conversation, they're not listening to respond. They already have a preconceived response, so pre-prepared.
That is listening to respond.
Huh?
That is listening to respond. The other one is listening to understand. Like, I'm just being
mansplaining.
Oh, I didn't even give my hot take.
Who said she didn't know that? She was just breaking it down. Who said she didn't know that? Please continue, Nari.
Okay, maybe they're not listening to understand.
They're listening to respond.
No, let her talk. Maybe you know what she's going to say. Finish her thoughts. Finish her thoughts.
Basically, you're speaking to this person, you're telling them something, but they're not hearing anything you're saying. They already have something that they want to say.
Right.
So they wait for you to finish just to say what they have to say.
Right.
And more time, it doesn't correlate in any way whatsoever with what you said initially.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's not necessarily a response. It's just what they wanted to say.
Because at that point, you can't even call it.
That's crazy.
Crazy, damn.
They're not listening at all.
For real. Okay, now. So, do you guys feel like you have a place where you...
Man said no, he didn't even hear the question.
Brother.
No,
Do you guys feel like you have a safe space where you can be vulnerable and honestly talk about your feelings, and do you utilize it?
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't think this podcast was going to be this deep.
Yeah, I told you. Girl, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh, it's going to
No,
bad.
girl. It's a deep
Praise and
podcast.
worship.
If
Praise
you don't, by the way, if you guys don't know, this is a personal development podcast. So we talk about things that obviously no one here.
Who paid for the first night?
I feel like everyone here has sometimes have something insightful to say. So I feel like people watching it they could take something out of this. I feel like it would be something
Sometimes,
because sometimes we don't have. Did you not see the first half of this podcast?
If you're driving a car, your
evidence is
baby
clear.
mama, your child, and your mom's
sits
best
in front?
friend. Yeah, picking on the table. Who's in front?
Yeah.
Let's run through the importance of it. Don't worry,
Get to that. So do you guys feel like you have a safe space and do you utilize it?
I feel like there's a difference between having the space to talk and then you actually talking. So people have different personalities. Let me expand on what I'm talking about. So people have different personalities, and sometimes even if the space is there and they know the space is there, they know they're within a trusted circle of people, they might still not feel like talking, not because they don't think the people think the people would judge them or anything like that. It might be because they're just kind of reserved and they're
Right.
So I think there's a difference between having the space to talk and you building up your persona or personality, your confidence to actually share.
So
That goes to the utilization point. So it's like you have the space, but you don't.
do you
do you
utilize
actually
it?
use
Yeah.
it?
So where do you stand in that?
I'm a young person. I feel like I just say everything.
She said I'm an open back.
Personally, I just talk.
So you have that safe space and you use it.
But I don't know. I feel like in certain scenarios, I might talk about a topic, but not to the same depth level depending on who I'm talking
Right.
to.
I agree with that.
That's normal.
I agree with that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I definitely do think I have a safe space, but I feel like for me, mine is similar to what you said, but a bit different. I feel like mine is dependent on the intensity of the situation. So sometimes when situations are too intense, even if I feel like I'm talking to my safest person, I don't even want to talk about it. I feel like sometimes I'm just like, I like to like deal with things myself, like internally before like, So it's like, if the situation is not that intense or maybe something just happened that annoyed me or whatever, then I'm like, okay, let me go and talk to my friend and be like, okay, this really bothered me and we unpack it. But like, if it's like, oh my, I can't believe this is my life. What did LeBron say?
Smiling so hard.
No, but mine is a smiling bit, yeah. Like literally, then I'm like, yeah, I just kind of go into a shell.
Yeah. Off of that, I definitely agree because there are some things that have happened to me, like where I would say it's something that is so deep that I won't be able to bring myself to speak about it until 2 months later. Until like it's kind of maybe 2 months later if it's like partly resolved or fully resolved. But there's just some things that I find it so hard to like pop up and speak about. But then I would say that I can confidently say that I have a safe space. I have people that I can speak to or run to in times of like intense need, despair, like sorrow,
distress,
like in times of true sorrow.
So
like,
is everything okay?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Distress like twice.
We said
Distress.
She's having flashbacks.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like literally, there are people that if my life is on the line and I bail this person, I know that they will be there to just
I
let
heard
me
that.
listen. Not even that, and sometimes it's not even that you want an immediate solution. Sometimes you just want someone to hear you. And I think I have people. Actually, I know I have.
You know, you have people. I like that.
And to even build
So
on that,
oh, sorry.
to build on that, I even feel like the point I even want to make here is that safe spaces can literally, they can take all sorts of different shapes, sizes, everything. Like, funny enough, there have been a lot of times where I've been really, really overwhelmed. And just like Peniel and both Nari said, in fact, like, there have been sometimes where you're overwhelmed to the point where you don't even necessarily want to just talk about what you're going through. You can't even just want to do anything else. There have been times where, like, I felt like my life is crashing down around me.
Real.
And I've literally just turned on my PlayStation and goes back play games with my friends for like 3-4 hours.
And
And life is just okay again. Like,
I'm like, book a trip.
changing, like, and yeah, it's just like literally a safe space can be inside a plane. A safe space can be in your mom's bed. A safe space can be in the passenger seats of your best friend's car.
Shout out to mom.
There was a day somebody was vexing me. I got up from my bed. I went to my mom's room and I laid on her bed and I slept. Like literally, it was like 6 a.m.
6 a.m. is crazy.
It was like 6 a.m. She was like, "What's going on?" I literally woke up. I was like, "Mommy, they're testing me." I
So we do have a safe space. I know this conversation makes you uncomfortable, so you must answer.
I am quite uncomfortable.
Hey, you're
What
talking
about
deep conversation. She doesn't like.
Safe
Sophie
space.
doesn't like deep conversation.
I don't like deep conversation.
But you
What is
must
a safe
answer.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Do I have a safe space?
You were tricked, by the way. To
Right
come
here.
in this
I know. I'm not in the middle. It's like this is my therapy session.
Yes, it is.
This is like my intervention.
Yes.
Do I have a safe space? I feel like I do. Do I use it sometimes? No. Why? I don't know. Because I feel like I don't like talking and not being heard. And I feel like obviously people are going through stuff in their own lives.
Right.
Around to them. They don't always have times for them to listen to me when I'm trying to like vent or tell how I feel about something.
Right.
And that's fair. And I know obviously that's happened in the past and I don't like it. And when that's happened, I've always just built a little, okay, cool, I'm not going to this person again because I know. Shout. Because as much as I've built up that courage to do that, you've now like shut me down. I'm like, so what was the whole point? Let me do my shit myself. Which more times works eventually.
I was gonna say fair enough. But I was gonna say that don't you think you're going to the wrong people if you feel like, because I feel like there's some people that based on your friends or relationship or whoever, you know people's personalities. So you know the friend that if you go to, it's like, okay, let's focus on this. Like you brought this issue, let's try and solve it. I know the friends that'll be like, well, that's crazy. And then
No, but you know the kind of person
pushing.
I am. Like,
No.
you know the person that I'm quite dramatic. I live a life of flair.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
Wow.
if
No,
if this is what I want to vent about, and this person will be like, you okay, like.
No, but that goes back to what I'm saying because I feel like you are dramatic, but there's nothing that you have come to me to, even if it's a dramatic situation that you'd be like, oh, this is an issue that I'd be like, oh, it's really dramatic. No, I know, but I'm still saying that regardless, like if you go to the right people, like some of your close friends, and you're like, okay, this, even if you're being dramatic, something happened that is stressing you out, and if you go to them and like, okay, this has happened, you know the kind of friends that will be like, okay,
Oh yeah, 100%.
let's fix this.
But most of those like to be a bit dramatic. Move on.
Ah, that's kind of crazy.
Toby's
friends, do better.
Yeah, but wait,
Do better.
chill.
Boom.
Touching on that though.
You're not alone, baby.
Touching on that though. I can't lie. You need that friend to tell you that. Nah,
I won't
lie.
lie.
Mad.
And sometimes it's necessary.
No, for real.
I feel
Moving
like
mad is different from going through something.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think there are different friends for
No,
different things, and there should be
no.
room allowed for guys who aren't
Yeah, bro.
necessarily just the empathetic friend.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
and also is the truth. The truth is, like you said, you might be dramatic about a certain situation. You need that person to tell you that, nah, like this is too much.
That is
Get
true.
us.
Yeah.
Ariel said something.
Well,
The delivery
Delivery is
matters.
important.
Yeah.
okay.
Because you can have an empathetic friend that's also a realist that can also tell you, but it just depends on how
Right.
you deliver that information.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I heard
Like,
If
you.
she
obviously, if you
comes-
see something that's like hurting her, I'm not
And she's
just
like,
like,
oh,
that's crazy.
guy, why
Okay,
are you
okay,
doing
okay.
that?
Yeah.
Let's not even take it too far. Like Peniel, for instance. Peniel is somebody that will tell you if you're overthinking something.
Yeah.
But Peniel is also the kind of, she's a logician. That's the only way I can like describe it.
Shout
Like,
out-
she will advise you,
shout out to Logic.
back to what I'm saying. For instance, Peniel is very empathetic, but she's also a logician because she will like hear you out. She'll listen to what you're going through, but then she'll also be like, "Oh, but there's a solution." She's someone that will actively help you try to solve your problem, even if you're being dramatic. She'll be like, Nari, like, this you're being a little bit, crazy. This is something that if you do this and this, like, it's fixed. Even recently, anyway.
And she follows up. She follows up.
Yeah,
I remember
she
one
does.
thing. I was like, girl, I don't move on. She said, you sure you don't want to talk? I said, I move on.
Now I'm getting shy.
And
Let's
that's
move on.
actually
Now I'm getting a bit shy.
to even build on that, like I have a friend who I call her to offload quite a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and especially this week because like I'm having a really, 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 really bad week. But like I called her like,
Hey, yeah.
Safe
Hey,
but
yeah.
yeah, so I called her like 2 days ago, obviously, and I was not running through my week. And literally, like, I told her about like 2 L's I've taken this week. I just started laughing, and like she cracked literally the worst 2 jokes I've ever heard in my entire goddamn life. But it's funny because like I also even remember how like 3 years ago.
Sorry, I'm not following.
What?
What do you mean? She laughed at
She laughed at me,
at
like
what you
going
said.
through my pain, and obviously she literally turned this into a joke. Obviously, to the point where I feel like a lot of people would have like classed that as insensitive and been like, "Yo, I called you to like bear my pain.
Yeah.
And, like, why are you laughing at me?" But like, I also remember like 3 years ago when I was going through like a really, really bad situation, and we went on speaking terms at that point, and so we didn't speak for about 6-7 months. And I remember like I feel like that situation got so much more serious than it had to be, especially since I was waking up and trying to deal with it, thinking, yo, this is the most serious thing in the world. And if this goes like left to a certain point, like I don't even know what's going to happen.
Right.
But then by the time we now eventually like got down to speaking about it, like we literally had like a 1-hour conversation on the phone. And as soon as I told her about it, she was like, bro, so this is what you've been worrying about, guy. Like, it's okay, dude, girl. It's been okay before and it'll be okay again. And like sometimes you just need your friends for that.
Yeah. But did you tell her that the laughing, did you tell her that the laughing hurt your feelings?
Yeah, of course, she's an asshole.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah, it was like when she was laughing.
And also, I can't lie to you, like,
Like, damn.
obviously, she should be exposing trauma to me, and I'll be turning into jokes.
Ah,
I guess
okay.
that's
I wasn't sure if it was
back to
back.
back.
We
Maybe
should
not, like,
stick together.
But also, like, she actually, and I won't lie to you, like, obviously, I won't
Yeah,
say this to her
sorry.
face or anything, but like,
She's gonna watch this.
fucking
Billy.
funny, man.
Sometimes it's like, you need those people.
Shout
that
out
tell
Funny
you,
Babes.
Don't take life too seriously.
Yes, sir.
If you could go back in time and speak to your younger self. Oh, you hate this question, right? This should be your hot take.
Invest
would you say?
in Bitcoin.
Buy one
That's all
Bitcoin.
you know.
Just
Buy
one
one
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
please.
Bitcoin.
I'm begging you, Kiton.
That's
Just one
it.
Bitcoin.
Do you know, I saw this thing.
Summer 2020.
I saw this thing.
Buy
on Instagram.
Shiba Inu £50.
That's
I
all.
saw this.
That's all you need.
I watched this movie of this woman who she bought like mad shares. She was like, back then I bought like mad shares in something called Facebook. She didn't know what it was, and she's a millionaire.
People like that don't want to work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Nah,
like,
but tax would be crazy.
Yeah. By the time you
I
start
mean,
spending.
fair enough.
Yeah, but if you have a plan,
Please
though.
sell it, yeah.
Still.
If you
As
have a
in, I
plan,
won't
yeah,
lie.
if you have a
I
plan,
keep
the
on saying
capital is
it.
there
If the
now.
tax income that you've made, you're still like if they tax you at 40%, you still made 60, bro.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like the structures of
no.
the
They wouldn't
I
have
like
had
that.
zero.
That's a
Yo,
glass half full
it
mentality
hits
The
right
different.
there.
It hits
magnitude of what
different,
you
I
need
can't
for
lie.
Facebook
that you
tax
have to hit
is
to be
unfortunate.
taxed 40 is already
It's crazy.
Yeah.
like so.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
bear
that
in mind,
high.
she didn't invest
Not
at all.
that
She'll have
high.
zero. It's not that high.
No, wait, to be taxed at 40, not that high.
It's not that high.
In
Okay, the UK. Sorry, my
What is
bad.
in America?
I retract.
You just see Penny trying to explain to her 5-year-old self. Buy 5 shares in Apple, bro.
No, she was buy shares.
They'll just be looking at her.
What I said.
I'll literally just write so much.
I mean,
buy the shares.
just-
No,
just-
if he
buy-
goes back in
put-
time, if he
buy
goes back in time, you just say the guy you already know the fuck.
You already know. Buy Bitcoin right now. That's all. That's all.
I can literally
No
imagine
explanation.
that. I'm screaming.
No
Okay.
explanation.
What assumption do people have of you that you think is false?
Oh.
That I always want to win arguments.
Ooh.
I think that's always one.
But look, you do.
I think let's unpack that conversation.
No, my whole thing is what you're saying has to make sense.
But what makes sense to you?
No, wait, hang on. If you're able to, hang on. I'm not saying that, like, obviously, like, we're human, right? Sometimes we'll have lapses in our logic, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that you have to be, like, robotic and everything else to, like, make sense. That's literally what I just said. Exactly, lapse in logic. You see, human, you grab. But what I'm trying to say is, like, we need to be able to have a conversation to understand one another.
Right.
Because the whole point for me is being able to come to a consensus and move forward.
Right.
There's nothing I hate more than someone telling me, "Oh, let's agree to disagree." do you know why? It's not because agreeing to disagree is in itself ridiculous. I think you can absolutely do that, especially when you have, it's like a difference in values fundamentally. My problem is people use that to drop the conversation.
Yeah.
And that
I do that
pisses
too.
me off.
Well, I can't lie, no. I won't lie.
I mean, for some people, 1 hour.
There's
and
power,
like,
there-
no,
I can't lie, bro. There's power in recognizing
see,
that I'm not
yeah.
going to change your opinion and I shouldn't expend efforts in that direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
Your assumption is
There's
right.
power in understanding sometimes that, bro, like, I don't need to change your opinion on this
Right.
matter, and I'm clearly not
No,
going to. with
I'm
my
not talking
words.
about things
I
with
think-
opinions. I'm talking about when there's a clear miscommunication. But people, they don't want to do the work to understand where
Okay.
it's coming from.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want to stick to the fact that, no, I see it this way. You're in the wrong. Let's
Okay.
agree to disagree. I detest
Yeah,
that.
I feel like it's the way you use agree to disagree.
Yeah,
like
like-
it's if you want to drop the conversation that is dragging, you're like, let's drop it, it's dragging. But saying let's agree to disagree in a situation where what you're doing is not technically agreeing to disagree.
It's
It's
not. You're basically
It's
just
Why I
saying,
feel like it's a
shut
nonsense.
up,
I
you're wrong.
think what you're trying to, like, in a conversational context, right? It's not a thing where, okay, we're talking about concepts or we're talking about something that,
Policies,
policies, things that, like, don't really have concrete rights or wrongs, right? People just, like, let's assume the whole conversation about the Ivorian girls that wore gele or whatever. Wait. Something like that where it's like, something like that is kind of like everyone has different opinions that, like, if you
No, not that.
that's what I'm
Not
saying.
that.
So you're
Not
talking
those
more so about
situations.
something
No.
like, let's assume I did something, right? I did something to you, and I didn't know I did it to you, and you're offended, and I'm like, oh, but I didn't mean it that way. But like, okay, but this is how I took it. Well, it's something that I could easily just understand where you're coming from and be like, oh, I understand where you're coming from, but I didn't mean it that way. But rather than me understanding or like understanding you, I'm like, no. Then I'm like, you know what? Let's just agree to disagree.
But I think what he's saying is that when the facts are clear already, and then you're still trying to say otherwise, and then you're like,
But
no.
when our facts are clear, though, that's my
No,
point.
it depends.
Necessarily clear, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
like-
I feel like what you're saying
Closer
is
to- yeah,
Just
that's
what
what
you're
you're
saying,
saying.
closer to what you're saying.
Yeah, it's more so a thing where it's like you have. It's not necessarily an agree to disagree. It's more like an understanding, like
Yes.
understand where I'm coming
and
from.
then you now use
Just-
terminology agree to
Like, agree to
disagree.
Just
disagree.
to
Yeah.
end, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think more time it's like a pride thing, right? Where people don't want to just drop the ego and say, okay, fine. Let me try and see what you're saying.
What you're saying, yeah.
It hits me kind of hard because, like, I spend a lot of time trying to understand when people are coming from, and I give a lot of people grace, even when they say things that are out of pocket. I just take it like, okay, cool, I know how they are. Like, I'll still let them know that guy, look, you shouldn't have said that.
Right.
But like, I'm very patient and very deliberate with expressing that patience with people.
Yeah.
So when I'm in that situation and it feels like it's not being reciprocated, that's why it hits me quite hard because I'm like, bro, literally, I do this for you all the time.
I
Why?
understand that.
Yeah.
And
What about the rest of you guys? What assumption do people have of you that you think is false?
Some people
Build on
think
it.
I'm unapproachable, and I find that so weird.
Like, so they think I'm mean. Like,
Yeah.
I'm weird. I was like,
I think it's because you have a resting bitch.
Toby is weak.
I'm always
Don't listen to
smiling.
him.
No,
Don't
you're
listen to
not.
him.
No,
See
you're
this girl
not.
here.
You know,
I
it's,
don't think you're always smiling, but
I thought you were about to agree.
I just want to point out, even the way Nari said that P, it's like she was scared.
she went
I don't think.
I don't think you're always smiling. But I also don't think you have a resting bitch face.
well, that's because you know her. No?
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think because you're
I'm looking at it
accustomed
from an
to-
outside point of view. I feel like if I saw
do
Toby's
you think
face,
I had a resting bitch face?
You know, like I like wicked women.
toxic.
So the answer is yes.
You guys should free all this long time. Toby's
Random
wicked.
question.
Like, forget.
In this whole group, is there anybody that you would say looks more approachable and looks less approachable?
I've noticed for the past 3-4 months or so, guys don't like to sit next to me on the tube anymore. So I have to conclude I'm not an approachable. Hey, bro,
Let me tell you.
there was one day.
Let me tell you.
There was one day I was on the northern line. I looked up. There was nobody on my row. Everybody was
The answer to that is just
That's crazy.
I'm gonna hold you. The answer to that is racism. That's what I'm gonna tell you. It has nothing to do with you.
Nah, there are blacks on the other side.
Nothing to do with
There
you.
are blacks on the other side. That's crazy.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's wild.
You said they were blacks on the other side. Were you there with him?
You're approachable.
Thank you. Right.
People tend to think, even around the approachable, people assume I'm more approachable than, like, it's not all the time I want to talk. But when I'm talking, I talk a lot. Because,
Yeah.
But it's not all the time I want to talk, and it's all the time, I don't know how to explain this, but because people think I'm approachable, a lot of people tend to, like, talk to me. And I'm like, it's not all the time.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not as extroverted as people believe I am.
Just get a face tattoo.
How extroverted do you think you are?
I'm very much balanced in my head.
Extroverted, introvert.
Like, if someone were to...
Ambiverted, yeah.
I don't know if I'm fully ambiverted, but anyway,
Yeah.
if someone were to ask me to go somewhere, I'd probably go. But if it were left to me, I wouldn't make that many plans
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, I'm very comfortable just staying at home and just like chilling.
That's why they think you're
watching
friendly.
movies. But
That's why they think you're friendly.
yeah, but like I do go out. Like if you were to say, oh, let's go for dinner, let's go to.
Yeah,
sure.
sure. Why not?
So yeah, I would do that. I feel like that's a misconception of me thinking I'm just like always looking for somewhere to go. I actually don't like clubbing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Fair enough.
I actually,
Can't relate.
Like I don't like it.
I just like to be outside.
For me to like personally, I've never been like a huge clubber. I love a daytime activity, but also at night sometimes just chill, sit somewhere, have a conversation, go for a walk. Like even I don't even mind a shisha, but I don't even smoke shisha like that. But
just the
I
environment.
would chill.
I agree with that. I think the older I've
I might
gotten.
dabble, but like you know,
Yeah.
Dabble.
I think dabbler. Oh,
They've been down.
lukewarm.
They're outside.
I guess
What's
also
that thing,
because like, I
George?
wake up early and sleep early, so like nighttime activities.
Yeah. No, I love a good nighttime activity. I can't come and lie in the night.
Same.
But then
Insomnia.
I do agree in the clubbing because I do feel like the older I've gotten, I know it's gonna shock you. I'm so sorry.
fine.
Yeah. She's my
Yeah, it's always been on that.
but no, I don't even I feel like you
Yeah,
two as
it's
well.
not
I was gonna say as well.
Oh, no, I believe that. But then
No,
this
it's
one,
not
I'm
bad.
I'm
It's not
retiring from the club.
No, but it's not the club. I feel like the older you've gotten, you start to like different things. Like it's not
Yeah,
to
no,
say that I don't like
definitely.
nighttime things, but I kind of figured that I kind of like the vibe we had yesterday. We went away. We had fun. We could get food. There's a nice DJ. Like you're dancing in the restaurant.
Yeah.
That is my type of vibe in comparison to like, I don't know, clubbing lifestyle. Not that I won't still go clubbing, but it also goes back to something that me and Nari have said before, where it's like when you start clubbing from an early age, vibes don't quench now. At some point,
We all
can't
try.
lie.
Especially that fucking Lagos. I can't like.
To me, to hell now, bro.
That's someone we were signing at 27.
Bro.
God, it was mess.
Not Quillox. It was what's it? Vapor.
No,
Vapors
no,
that
even
year?
that one. That's summer
all
17.
these
I know
bad
57 hated
vibes
to
on
see
you.
us
My mom knew I was
coming.
there, Sha.
I know
so-
all these bad children. Guys, the first time I stepped into the club was last Christmas in Lagos.
That's
That's
why.
a bloody lie.
I'm being dead
No,
on.
She doesn't go out in Lagos. She doesn't go out in Lagos.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
But I can't lie, we used to be
But that's not the
outside.
first time you step out in the club, period. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We used
But
to be
yeah.
so outside, eh?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Even had a Quillox face.
I remember that time I told my driver we're going to Penny's house. The guy started crying. He said,
Because he knew that he won't get home till
the
7.
guy said, no, I want to go home outside.
No, I can't lie. We tormented the streets of Lagos that year. That Christmas.
Despite that, though, when I go to a club, I will enjoy it.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
girl.
You just have to.
Like, I don't mind going for birthday.
You have to.
No, for me. No, for me, I think my own is I don't think I've ever been the kind of guy who understands people who are capable of going clubbing every week. if that makes
Fair
sense.
enough.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Obviously, there was a phase of that in life, but I especially think that at
Was
this
there?
age,
I don't think
I
I
don't-
don't
step
think
there
I've
when
ever had
step
that
into
phase.
club when you have something to celebrate, to grab. Like you can't just be there.
I don't
every
think
week,
I've
like
ever had
that.
that phase.
It will get boring.
I'm literally there. You know when people are on the first name basis with the doorman, not because
Ha!
they know
Hey.
who owns the club,
No,
but because they come to mark attendance.
No,
There are some guys that were young people in the club. I haven't seen you around here before, and you know that when they're saying that thing, it's real.
Kisa, what about you? What's
Mine-
something that people
okay.
assume about you?
So I
that-
think, funnily enough, like similar to Josh, I
Mhm.
think a lot of people assume that I'm quite argumentative, and in
Okay.
fact, I think a lot of people that I've come across have said it straight to my face. They think that like I'd rather die than not have the last word or stuff like that. I think when it comes down to it, I don't think people fundamentally understand who I am. I'm just somebody who I can get very passionate about certain topics, interests, and certain conversations. And I feel as though if I have a point that I want to get across, like I gesticulate a lot, like with my hands, I talk with my hands, I can get very heated, and like it can all convey a sense of really high intensity. That means that I can also end up steamrolling people in conversation, and so they can think, oh, I hate being wrong, or oh, I hate not being right.
Yeah.
Not even, I can't lie. I above all else, just like Josh, I enjoy having conversations with people, and I like to believe that I'm somebody who is very capable of changing his position when presented with new information.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so,
I agree with that.
Right.
How about you, Tim?
For me, I think people think I'm a snob. So
Really?
yeah.
Which is crazy.
But you're so
Really?
nice.
I think
don't
what
think so.
both of you have said is so crazy to me. 'Cause
Nah,
I don't even.
I be
It's completely
chilling.
opposite.
It's the thing is obviously like you mentioned, he has a mean mug face. Sometimes I do have those faces, so it's like someone will be afraid to approach me based on how they just conceive. Like if they see me, they're like, if I talk to this guy now, it's gonna be this way. But
Fair
meanwhile, me, I'm just a shy guy. You know,
Yeah, you already know what's
Yeah,
going on.
you already know what's going
It's
on.
just Tim
You know,
Joji.
like,
Yeah,
you already
fair
know what's
enough.
going on. So,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
it's just like that, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't be outside that much though.
Oh yeah, like, to clarify for the camera. To clarify, yeah.
My future wife.
I feel like an assumption people make about me, I want you guys to stay with me, is that they think I'm perfect. I feel like, no, I don't, wait, let me.
Cut the
Wait,
cameras.
No, let me.
Ain't no way you said perfect.
way.
No way that's what you told us.
Guys,
Let me land.
Can I say something? Can I say something
For
for
camera,
camera,
bro.
I threw a party for myself and I acted surprised. That's exactly what you did.
That's so penal coded.
No, I'm
Oh my gosh, thanks, guys.
no, I'm not even joking. Let me land.
Let the girl land.
No, exactly. Let me land. I feel like because I have a very high expectation of myself, a lot of people absorb that. So a lot of people have high expectations of me. And then when I do something that might not be, I guess, up to code, I feel like I get treated worse than the regular person. That's my own personal opinion. So it's me. So for me, it's like I feel like interesting. Let me land, bro.
So you're like a role
So
model.
for example, not even necessarily like a role model, but I feel like
you're basically Gandhi.
okay, don't take the piss.
That's a
Don't
reach.
take the piss.
That is
I'm
a
being
reach.
serious. I genuinely feel like, I don't know, there's some things that like, okay, they can tell me that somebody here did, right? And then you'll be like, that person cannot do that. But then they were all human, like what I said before. So I feel like sometimes if I do, let's assume, okay, people have this expectation that there's something that Penny cannot do. And let's assume I do it because, you know, I'm just a girl, just human, you know? I feel like people people judge me harder than how they judge regular people. That's just something that I've noticed. I feel like people sometimes hold me, my friends.
Followers.
I feel like not followers. I feel like sometimes my friends judge me to a higher standard that is sometimes ridiculous because it's like, I mean, I understand that, yeah, me too, I hold myself to that standard. No. But I feel like I hold myself to that standard. John is crazy. I don't even know John.
Can you give us an example?
I think it's just, so basically like, you have a lot of opinions on certain topics.
Right.
And a lot of times when someone has opinions on certain topics, when they then do something that the opinion reading people are seeing that, oh, you talked about this, why are you in this scenario?
Yeah.
People tend to then judge that more
Understandable.
vocally. I wouldn't even necessarily say harder.
Yeah.
I would just say it's like the flock of people that you've given your opinion to are then the flock of people that would respond. But let's say you kept your opinion to yourself, that flock of people is not there. So you would seem like it's harder, but that's just because more people know the opinion you had before and what you're doing now. So they're then coming to you and you're thinking, why 30 people coming to me saying,
So it's almost
I will never shut up though.
I also think
you never change.
I also think that whole I feel like people judge me harsher than the average person. That's interesting. Let's unpack that.
Yeah, we can
Where do you
unpack
think
it.
that comes from?
I do feel like people judge me harder. I think it is because of the reason, like not to the exact extreme, because I feel like there's some things that I feel like when I have very, very strong opinions about something, it's something that I fundamentally would not do because it's like my morals, right? And I don't really compromise on my morals. But I do have a strong opinion about everything. So that doesn't you ask me something that I've never experienced, but I have an opinion of it. I'm very vocal about those opinions, like you said. So I feel like because of that, people are like, oh, if Penny was saying this, then she must mean it, and therefore she must do it. She must live by that standard, by stand on business, which is true, and in most cases I do. But then, like I said before, I'm also not human. I'm also human. Sorry,
perfect.
Right. I'm also stop.
Freudian
I'm
slip.
also human. So let's assume I have an opinion of like, oh, I hate plans. I cannot stand plans. Maybe because I've never had a plan, and then I have a plan. And I'm like, oh, actually,
I love plans.
I love plans. And then they're looking at me like, why would you?
That
do
babe
that?
says she hates plans.
That's
That's the babe that says she hates plans.
babe
She's
that
a
says,
fucking
"Ah,
liar.
plan is that."
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
I think these people didn't know you hate the plans to begin with. They were
Yeah,
saying this
fair
because-
enough.
And do you know the-
I
and do you know
will
the funniest thing
never
about
shut
that?
up.
And I think that
I
also
will
builds
never
on like
shut up.
the points I made like way. Oh, I'm so sorry. The
No,
points
go
I made
on.
way earlier about understanding that people are three-dimensional. If that makes
Right,
sense. Like
yeah.
everybody has blind spots. Like the
Yeah.
funniest parts
Yeah.
about it is I do believe Penyon when she says, when I feel really strongly about something, I think that indicates that I'm less likely to do something that contradicts that point. But I also
Right.
think
Less
every human being
likely
has blind
and
spots. I think
impossible.
across the entirety of Penyon's life, there has definitely been a time where she has said something and then done another.
Right.
But if you knew the full story behind what happened, you probably understand why she did what she did, or
Thank
understand
you.
that
Right.
opinions change all
Right,
the time, or
right.
like
Yeah.
a
Right.
whole host
No,
of
I
different
agree with
things.
that.
Yeah, plus
Life-
you
Life can
No,
happen.
no,
Life
no,
can
no,
happen.
Toby, you
stand
run
on
away.
business.
You don't stand up business. What are you talking
Let's
about?
clock that tea
standing
right there.
on
Did you hear what Josh just said?
business.
He just clocked your tea.
What do you
Huh?
say?
What?
said
Say
you run away, you don't stand
on
on business.
I don't start a business.
No.
But you're not in my business, so how do you know?
Damn.
Fair enough.
That's not very demure, not very
Second,
That's
mindful.
not very mindful.
You gotta invest. You gotta
Alright, Neri,
invest.
what were you saying, hon?
No, I was saying that like they're having an opinion about something that you've never experienced before, and then actually experiencing it means that your opinion may stand, but like when you're actually put in that situation, your actions may differ. And that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
And the fact that people don't think that is okay, or we keep pushing the narrative that is not okay,
That
is
is
why
okay.
there are a lot of people
Yeah.
who may experience something that changes their worldview, and then either ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist, so that nobody can tell them, "Oh, I
Yes,
changed up."
that's
or,
why
"Oh,
I feel like sometimes my issue with the whole standing on business piece, because some people stand on business to the point where it's detrimental to you as a person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
just because you want
exactly.
to stand on business,
No.
Like
I can't lie.
changing as a
Yeah.
result of
No,
exposure to
real.
new information is human. It is the
Yeah.
adult thing to do.
Opinions
Keep
change,
human.
like,
Yeah.
please.
And you shouldn't be afraid to say that your opinion should. I think that's the point I was kind of trying
And
to get
if-
across.
Go on.
No, that literally.
I was gonna say, and if it hasn't changed, like you just wanna mess about, like
It's
Bro,
okay. Yeah, I think that's the thing.
sometimes there doesn't have to be a
grace.
big change.
Give
Like, sometimes, like
grace.
you just
That's
made a
what someone
mistake.
gives
innit?
Sometimes it's like
Wait, what did Keith say?
like somebody has come to me to ask me, "Yo, Kitson, you said this P last week. Why did you just do this?" P yesterday?" I said, "Bro, because I'm a fucking hypocrite. Like, what do you want? Will you beat me?"
Bro, that's a good answer.
That's
man.
That's a good
crazy.
answer,
You
bro.
know, when I'm
That
like
is
insulting celebrities,
crazy.
if I was a celebrity, I'd be using my private jet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
I'm on
sorry.
level now.
Molly May, we
I'm
support
sorry.
you.
If I
Molly
had
May,
the
we support you
means, I'll probably
100%.
be worse than people that I was insulting.
That's what I'm saying.
Say
Molly, fly that private jet. Take
And
your
at
whole
the end of
family.
the day,
If
Take
I was
me
Taylor
to-
Swift and my mommy wants to ride Bina, I'll send my jet.
No.
Jet way.
Yeah, go to Italy to get that gelato. Yeah, yeah.
I saw something on Twitter the other day. Someone was like, all my friends better enjoy me while I'm poor because money will
Bro,
change me.
100%.
One out of
100%.
Voice that I have.
There'll be
come to
time.
money.
There would be. I will
There
tell you.
will be signs.
Forget the sign. I will show you.
And as Nigerians say, condition make crayfish bend.
No, real. You know, I said that the other day, and someone buzzed out in laughter because they had never heard it before. They thought I made it
I
out.
always say that. I love
And I was like,
That's a Nigerian adage.
that,
Wow.
circumstances what made
Wait,
it
wait,
crazy.
did you tell them?
That was as Nigerian as
Hell no.
tantalized
Yeah.
us,
It
man.
was actually my brother. He'd never heard it before.
That's
way.
so
Yeah, he's not. He was like, you're so hilarious. And I was like, ah.
You see, these are guys who be thinking Penel. These are guys who be thinking Penel is perfect because she's recycling jokes again.
Okay, so what is one of the biggest hurdles / shocks you discovered in your 20s?
They have to still wake up and keep going. What the
No,
fuck?
real.
Can't lie.
No.
I just want to say, you guys, when I found out that Penel is not in fact perfect, it actually it changed the trajectory of my entire life.
Oh my god. You guys, let me leave this one down now. Like, I told you I was going to land. Did I not land? I
You
landed.
landed.
Hello? I did land.
You landed.
Hello.
But no, I feel like for me, one of the biggest hurdles was kind of like literally like what you said, that there are no summer breaks in real world.
Bro, I remember
Like-
in uni, I wake up and say, for the next week is my midterm break. I'm not going to class.
Yeah.
I can't do that now.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I feel like for me is no matter what's going on in your life, the world still continues. The
Yeah.
work still expect to
Yeah.
show up. The people expect
Yeah.
to do that.
I love
That's
how
the
we've
one
just
for
said
me.
the same thing but different.
But
people.
no, but,
No, but I won't
yeah,
lie,
no,
like,
it's so
yeah,
true.
It's a similar thing, and to try and kind of build on the specific points, or at least that I'm trying to allude to. I think about a year ago or so, like a year ago in about February or March, like a close friend of mine died. Right, she passed away, and that was genuinely like the sweetest human being I've ever met in my life. Like, shout out
So rest in
Lamide,
peace.
you'll be in my heart forever. But it's a thing where, you know, when somebody that like that person who you think is like so pure and good and everything. I'm like, bro, like you're walking around. I was walking around the week of the funeral because I had to go to the uni. I was doing my master's at the time. I was just like, bro, like why are we all still doing shit? Like, why are we going to class? Like, why am I in class right now?
Right.
Like, bro, like,
Yeah.
I don't like that we're just here doing normal stuff. Like, an entire human being that matters was here yesterday and is not here anymore today.
Yeah, no, that's deep. I can't lie.
But like that's just, I feel like dealing with loss is something that I feel like we talk about, but we don't talk about enough. And also like the repercussions of that loss and how it affects you on a daily. A lot of the time, people don't care how it's like basically something that could be fundamentally changing your life. They just expect you to just move on. Like Ariel said, the world just keeps on spinning.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with a gap.
Yeah.
A full-on human side.
Your life will never
gap,
be the same.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's just like the expectation for you to just get on with it is, I think, it's a ridiculous notion.
It can be quite crazy at times. Like, for example, even a more high-profile example of this, like Megan Thee Stallion, her mom died, didn't she? And she was literally like, all of that had to play out in public, if that makes sense. Like, she was in a really bad place. And like, are you telling me she doesn't need a break? Are you telling me she couldn't have used like 6 months to just go home and cope with the fact that like somebody that was really close?
Right.
No, like, baby has literally just started her career. If she stops working, she stops making money. If she stops making money, she can't feed herself. She can't, like, bro, it's all like the rat race is just
Crazy.
No, that's true. I can't lie.
And you know what's so sad? Like, we do all of this and we're just going to die.
Like, damn.
I don't think in my brain, I process it that way.
Good for you.
Because
Just keep going.
Honestly,
I agree with that, Ariel.
Because when I think about it, I don't necessarily think, oh, I'm just going to live and I'm going to die. Because there are certain things that pass through me, through my family, like the life I've built, houses, clothes, like, material things, but also
sorry, houses plural?
and
Oh, she.
Let her
what is
She
it?
said houses
plural?
closed. She said material things though, but continue.
But generally, like in my head, I'm just like, my life is going to end. Yes, it's going to end, but it's going to flow through other people that know me, people that. So I don't think about it as live, die. That's it. Like
everything you just said indicates to me that what you hold special in your life is the people around you and the connections you have with them. And so I guess the underlying points here is, why do we spend such a significant chunk of our lives working rather than spending the limited amount of time we have with the people?
You can't have fun when you're broke, bro. Like,
that's why.
You can't have fun when you're broke.
How
How?
allow for true familiar?
No love for broke boys.
No love for broke people, period.
you can't just flourish in the forest.
I
Flourish in the
want
forest with
someone
your
said
friends.
your friend that told us said quit your job and focus on friendship. How can you focus on friendship when you have no money? Yes. How can you focus on friendship when you have no money?
No, but like,
That's a Disney Plus.
Money is fundamental to the world.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I
Anyways,
see what you're saying.
yeah, I think don't tell me what to do. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys for all being here. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Hope you guys were taking notes. Bye.
Bye.